Welcome. In front of me I have the Xiaomi Black Shark gaming tablet, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device, specifications, build quality, and give you my first impressions of this gaming tablet as I go and check it out myself. Okay, so let's just get straight into this. I honestly didn't know that Xiaomi is still making Black Shark devices. I haven't seen them for a while, at least myself. So that actually comes as a surprise, and it's a positive surprise, as when it comes down to gaming peripherals, especially like, mobile ones, there isn't too many on the market, so I do kind of like the fact that we still have at least one that is still around, I guess. And well, that's a small little tablet. Let me just peel the screen. Oh, what? No. Come on. God damn it! A crap got under there. Because of course it did. Okay. There we go. Of course, literally just peeled it off by a smidge, and dust got under there. Love it. Plastic protectors are freaking fantastic. Anyway, I'm gonna boot it up and just move on to the rest of the package, which literally screams at me China #1. Plastic insert right here. That's just glued. Okay, cool. Space for a charger, which doesn't exist. Paperwork that looks like it's straight out of those the shittiest tablets that I can buy from AliExpress. Honestly, if I didn't know that this is coming from a official store, not official, but like a normal store like a Best Buy or something like that, I would think that this is a fake, because the paperwork in here, the packaging and all that crap just literally make it almost feel like it's a knockoff of something. And I'm just talking about the content of the box. Oh, and a Type-C to Type-C cable for charging. Anyway, so that's everything that's in the box. Everything I'm saying, like there was a lot. There was more or less more disappointment in there, but whatever. Let's take that off. And here is the device. Has the Black Shark kind of look to it, gamery kind of aesthetic. This is just drawn on. It's not even like engraved or anything like that, so you don't feel that at all. So that's a gaming tablet that does not have capacitive buttons. Triggers basically anywhere. Okay. What the fuck? Almost felt like something literally snapped into place, like the display moved. Huh. Okay, anyway. So here's the tablet itself. Now let's go into the specifications right here. So we are looking at a 8.8 inches in size, the display right here, and that is a LCD display, unfortunately. Wow. It is 144 Hz refresh rate with a peak brightness of 600 nits. It has a 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution, which is a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, and it puts it at 343 pixels per inch in terms of density. So display right here could have been much better with inclusion of OLED or AMOLED display, but I guess some cost cutting were done. Now, for people that do care about this, I'm going to talk about briefly the cameras, which we have one at the front and one at the back, and here it is. And my god, this looks absolutely abhorrently cheap. But this is a 13 megapixel wide sensor. That's 4K 30 and 1080p up to 60, while the selfie right here, there we go, you can see it now, in the bezel, is a 5 megapixel wide sensor that does 1080p 30. So nothing really outstanding. It's a gaming tablet. Let's be honest, no one gives a shit about that actually. Moving on. The device has a 7300 mAh battery, which the GSM Arena does not specify the charging speeds of it, unfortunately. And I'm actually going to quickly set it up, as I don't remember if Xiaomi gives me the option to check the specifications to be more precise about them, or certain of them in the settings, so I'm just going to check it out. Oh, well, that was a quick setup. So you can see how this feels. In terms of responsiveness, it's okay. I don't think the responsiveness is super good for a gaming tablet, but it seems like the refresh rate itself is actually, I mean, good. I mean, it is 144 Hertz. Okay, let's quickly check out about phone. Okay, that's interesting. GeoOS, we have 12 gigabytes of RAM, 7,300 mAh battery, cameras that I mentioned, CPU. Now the CPU should have been right here, the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. I'm not sure if this is what it actually is right here. I'm going to quickly check just to be sure. So QTI SM8635. There we go. Yep, it is the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. Okay. Not sure why it's not labeled as such right here, but I just wanted to be certain. So, moving on with the specifications, you already seen we have the 12 gigabytes of RAM, and in terms of built-in storage, we're looking at these here, 256 gigabytes of it, and it looks like that's the only option that you have right here. There is no other, like for instance, half a terabyte or anything like that, and it comes with the UFS 4.0 storage type, and additionally, oh great, I can't fit it in here. Let me just get the thing that I just dropped on the floor. There we go. So, additionally, we can pop in an SD card, as this is an SD card tray, and expand it further, probably up to a terabyte or so. So that would give you a bit more storage if you need that more than 256, which if you're going to use this for gaming purposes, which it's designed for, you actually might. And it's kind of a shame that this device only comes with 256 instead of like half a terabyte, because let's be honest, games do take some space on your devices. So storing them, for instance, on an SD card, yeah, that's going to be kind of slow. So I would say that's not the most optimal choice. So anyway, that's all the worth mentioning specifications. I do want to mention just build quality briefly. We have glass front, obviously. We have aluminum frame and aluminum back as a single piece by the looks of it. So you can see just a single piece molds all around. And yeah, it's aluminum. It honestly, it feels like aluminum, but I don't know, for some reason it gives me like a vibe of plastic almost. The design of it and stuff like that, I just find it a little bit too gamery, and yeah, personal preference, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so my look at this device is a little bit negative, to be completely honest. Actually, if I am going to be negative, I do want to maybe first check the price of this, because if this costs like $200, then you know, I don't think I could be negative about it. Lecture Pod 7, no. It's more like 500. So yeah, 1700 PLN. So let's check it. Oh wow, on AliExpress, it's that was weird. It showed me a price tag of $280 for a brief moment, where before it just gave me 404. So anyway, right now this device costs about 1700 PLN, and that would include tax, and 1700 PLN to USD is equivalent to $440. Now, I find it to be a little bit kind of odd. you get to pay, it looks like, more because it's a tablet, a very small one. And the reason I'm saying you get to pay more is because even Xiaomi themselves makes phones that will be hardware-wise, I would say, a little bit better, offering a bit more versatility to it, while costing basically the same amount. Quickly also check. So Snapdragon 8S Gen. I want to do a quick little comparison of another phone from Xiaomi. Not this one, this one. Okay. Okay, let's quickly check Nano review and benchmarks. Okay. So in benchmarks, I am going to be comparing it to. Wait, can I get the Ultra maybe, please? Apparently I can't. Okay. So I'm going to be comparing it to the 8500 Ultra Dimensity. It's the cheaper option of the Poco X8 Pro Max. Sorry, not Pro Max, the Pro, which has, well, it costs less than this. So while also coming with AMOLED display, a much higher refresh rate for the touch inputs. The actual refresh is 120. It has Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus certifications, much higher peak brightnesses, faster charging. Battery-wise, it's 1000 milliamps smaller, but there's also the Pro Max version of this device, which would have 6.8 inches in size, while having a bigger battery, faster charging, and everything better than what we have right here, including performance. As for a phone that costs less than this, you get a performance that is what is it? Let me just quickly check it out. So in N2 to 11 benchmarks, we are looking for at a Snapdragon being 11% better. So that's not much. Geekbench 6, single core, it's a 43% faster, what we have right here, and multi-core, it's 12% faster. And in just straight up GPU performance for gaming purposes, 13% faster. Now that is for the phone that is cheaper than this and has a better display and faster charging. Now, if we compare it to the X8 Pro Max, which will be a little bit more expensive than what we have right here. And I know it's a phone, so I can't really do apples to apples, because this is just kind of what comes to my mind. This is a tiny little tablet, right? So you can get a decent phone for the same price and actually have something that achieves two things at the same time. And that will be coming with a 6.8 inch size display, opposed to this being 8.8. And it comes with a Dimensity 9500S, and that is most certainly going to be faster than what we have right here. So 90S, there we go. And just to give you a little like fast comparison, we are looking at N2 to 11 benchmarks. Again, those were previously like 11% faster, this one. Now the Dimensity is 30% faster. Geekbench 6, single core, 22% faster, multi-core 16% faster, and the GPU, which will be the important part for gaming, it's 38% faster for roughly about the same price. Now it is tiny bit more expensive from where I live, and it really depends where you buy either one of these devices, but on paper it would be about $50 more. In reality, honestly, this could be more expensive if you buy it from the wrong place. So for gaming purposes, that phone would be honestly better, as it has way more power in it. So I would highly recommend looking at the X8 Pro Max, as this could be obviously much more versatile device that is achieving everything that this does with just a smaller size, which means it's more pocketable. And because this, one of the things that I do kind of find as a mishap, does not have the capacitive kind of touch areas for, you know, for gaming purposes. I think getting a phone and getting one of those, like, you know, cases, not cases, but these controllers that you just kind of strap on each side, you know, so like stretch out on it, and, you know, have normal joysticks and stuff like that would be better choice than something like this that is lacking these buttons that you usually would have on these gaming phones. Now this, again, is just my personal opinion right here, and obviously I'm recommending a phone while talking about a tablet, which is in itself kind of stupid. But to be fair, you pay more for a tablet just because it's a tablet, and you don't get the equivalent amount of performance from it just because you paying premium on the fact that you have something that is just a bigger but also smaller in its own category, because tablets supposed to be big, right? That was the idea of them, but this is like a mini version. So you're paying for a tablet extra and then paying extra for the tablet to be small. Might as well get a phone at that point and have much better performance and experience, and also it's Xiaomi, so the same brand, so you're staying in the same kind of ecosystem. So that's kind of my opinion right here. Obviously, you might not agree with this. If you don't, that's completely fine. But the fact that you would have also more battery, being like 8,500 with 100 watts charging, I think for gaming purposes, it is going to be definitely a better option with just a smaller display, which also to some people could be obviously a benefit because it is more pocketable. So food for thought. Anyway, that's about it. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.